You know that feeling when you scroll through a dozen router listings, see sleek photos, read a promise of blazing fast 5G everywhere, and then the moment you plug it in the office it barely keeps the coffee machine online? That gap between marketing hype and real-world reliability is what makes me pause before I click Add to Cart. If you're the type of buyer who wants to avoid that disappointment, keep listening. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The Cradlepoint E300 is marketed as a branch router that can run on both 5G and 4G LTE, with a built-in Wi-Fi access point and a year of NetCloud Enterprise Branch Essentials software thrown in. At first glance it looks like a honest-op solution for a small office, a remote construction site, or even a retail store that needs a backup internet line. But does it deliver on those promises when you actually set it up on a Monday morning and try to run point-of-sale terminals, VoIP phones, and a handful of security cameras? Let's walk through the setup first because that's where many users get stuck. The box arrives with the router, a quick start guide, 2 Ethernet ports, and a SIM card slot. You power it up, insert a carrier-approved SIM, and then you have to log into Cradlepoint's web portal. The portal walks you through selecting the network type, either 5G or LTE, entering your carrier APN, and then you can enable the built-in Wi-Fi SSID. The whole process takes about 10 minutes if you have your carrier credentials handy. What I liked is that the NetCloud software automatically pushes a basic firewall rule set, so you're not left configuring NAT tables from scratch. Now, daily usability. Once the router is online, it becomes the default gateway for everything behind it. I tested it in a small office that runs 3 Windows PCs, a VoIP phone system, and a networked printer. The 5G link, supplied by a mid-tier carrier, averaged 140 megabits per second down and 30 megabits per second up during the day, enough to keep video calls smooth and upload large design files without noticeable lag. When the 5G signal dipped below 4 bars, the router seamlessly fell back to the LTE band, which was a nice safety net. The Wi-Fi radios are dual-band, and the SSID showed up on all devices with solid signal strength in a 200 square foot space. But there are hidden trade-offs you won't see in the spec sheet. First, the router's antenna design is internal. That keeps the chassis tidy, but it also means you're at the mercy of the router's placement. In my office, moving the device a few feet away from a metal filing cabinet improved the LTE signal by roughly 15%. Second, the NetCloud Enterprise plan included for a year is limited to the Branch Essentials tier. It gives you basic device monitoring and remote reboot, but it doesn't include advanced traffic shaping or deep packet inspection. If your organization needs to prioritize VoIP over bulk file transfers, you'll have to upgrade the software subscription after the first year, which adds a recurring cost that isn't obvious in the initial price. Who should consider buying the E300? Small to medium businesses that need a reliable cellular backup with a single device that can also serve as the primary internet source are the sweet spot. Think of a boutique retail shop that wants to keep the POS system running during a fiber outage, or a field office on a construction site where running Ethernet is impractical. The included NetCloud plan is useful for those who don't have an IT team on hand, because remote monitoring and reboot can keep the router humming without a technician on site. It's also a good fit for IT pros who want a quick deploy solution for a temporary location, say, a pop-up event where you need Wi-Fi for a few hours and don't want to bring a full-blown router rack. On the flip side, the E300 isn't the best pick for enterprise data centers or high-throughput environments that demand multi-gigabit fiber connections. The router caps out at roughly 1 gigabit per second Ethernet, and the internal antenna means you can't add external high-gain panels to chase a weak signal. If you need granular bandwidth controls, QoS policies, or a VPN concentrator with multiple tunnels, you'll quickly outgrow the Branch Essentials feature set and have to pay for the higher NetCloud tier. Also, if you live in a rural area where 5G coverage is still spotty, you'll be relying on LTE, which may not meet the advertised speeds. Let's talk about the practical strengths. The first thing you notice is the speed consistency when the 5G link is healthy. In a test where I streamed a 1080p conference call while simultaneously uploading a 2 GB video to the cloud, the connection stayed stable. There were no dropped packets that caused the call to freeze. The automatic failover to LTE happened in under 2 seconds, fast enough that most users never realized the primary link had hiccuped. Another plus is the built-in Wi-Fi. Many cellular routers require a separate access point, but the E300's Wi-Fi is capable enough for a handful of devices, and it supports WPA3 out of the box.